To every now and then they have these debates in the finance world. Should we be as hardcore as we are? And the answer always is yes. And this is something I wrote about this at the time. Again, I'm disgusted. Goldman Sachs has banned the all-nighter and ordered interns to leave at midnight because one died in the shower and another jumped out of his window because he was, quote, worked to death. Boo, hoo, hoo. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Finance is a culture about pushing yourself to the extreme, and the all-nighter is a rite of passage for many young finance guys. If these guys wanted to be pussies, they could have been teachers. The reward is extreme wealth if you make it through this grueling process. People should die. And everyone should pour out some Dom Perignon and move the fuck on. We never heard about this during the 80s when Wall Street was dominated by cocaine-snorting alpha males. Now we've got a bunch of Adderall-eating nerds raised on Degrassi and bullying seminars. So yeah, some of these tulips are going to jump out of windows. These people are soldiers in the war of wealth. We've criminalized success in this country. We love failures and sob stories. We cater to weakness. We've become an after-school special. We've bought into the idea that people don't earn their money. It's put under their pillow at night. This idea helps all the nothings sleep at night. So let's bring back the all-nighter. I want these kids worked to the brink of insanity. I want them jumping out of windows. I want them dropping dead of exhaustion. I want them tough. China's coming after all. Every litter has a runt. The problem with this country now is that everybody's a runt. Every no-good town employee union stooge should be worked to death. What a glorious way to die. What happened to Bob? He was worked to death. People get into finance because they don't want to end up janitors cleaning up some kid's puke in the cafeteria. They have more to offer the world, but sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're the janitor all along, but they can't face that. I don't blame them. So they decide that the manly thing to do is remove themselves from the equation altogether. They're correct. So they try to fly from their window, but they end up splattered on the concrete. Jumping out of your luxury apartment window is better than never having a luxury apartment in the first place. Don't let anyone tell you different. That's something that I wrote in, I don't know, I believe 2015, 2016. What I'm saying is this is not new. This is not new. None of this is new. None of these debates are new. All of these finance guys really go hard, and occasionally somebody bites it. And it's sad. He had a wife and kids, and I understand the human cost. But, you know, somebody has to die. It's sad. Stop showing his photo. It's like he's from beyond the grave creeping me out. I need to look at his photo while I make this argument. I'm saying this. You want to respect. What if we said no one in the military can die? What if we said that? Would we ever say that? Nobody's going to die. Imagine giving that speech at West Point and none of you will ever die. No. People die all the time. And this guy chose to dedicate his life to making exorbitant amounts of money. Not even inhuman amounts of money. He wanted to close meteoric deals, massive success, gobs of money, more money than most people listening to this show could ever imagine in their life, more money than I can imagine. He wanted the kind of money that inherently has some risk associated with it. Making that kind of money is not easy. It takes a strain on your physical and mental health, emotionally. And if you want that kind of, we cannot protect you. If you want to be a spy, you may die. If you want to be an elite athlete, you may die. You know? These are jobs that require more than what you should give. My job doesn't really require that. Not really. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. It requires just enough. But an elite athlete, it requires a lot. You're going to get up. You know, when you're an elite athlete every day, you have to get up every day in the morning and like you have to have a routine in every morning because you're an elite athlete and you push your body to the left. And some of those people, they die. Some of those marathon runners are in great shape. And in the middle of a marathon, they go, pop, and they're done. And that's just what because you're pushing your body. when you are trying to make mountains of money, God, money, sometimes you're going to drop dead. And unfortunately, that's what happens. And I know that we want to protect people from that. We want to try to create a world where that doesn't happen. But this guy's a type A guy. He was a Green Beret. This guy was a legit Green Beret. And he didn't die there. He died on Wall Street. But what are you going to do? You can't make Wall Street into something that is different from what it is. It's a place where type A people go to make more money than any human being should in questionable ways. They're not inventing anything. They're not, it's not like they came up, they had this great idea. They're just low to the ground, sucking money out of the system, keeping their ear low to the ground. And when you do that, sometimes you have to spend a lot of time. So instead of sleeping or treating your body, you are out, you're not treating your body with the respect it deserves. You're out there making money, and sometimes you have an event. And it's unfortunate. But there's nothing to be done. This happens every few years. An intern can't take it. That's what I wrote that thing about. Every now and then an intern jumps out of their window. Well, so what? So what? What are we supposed to do? Do you want it or not? Do you want the money or not? No one forced you to do this. You could be a teacher in Minnesota. You don't have to be a Wall Street guy. It's like the military. That's what I'm saying. It really is. If you take it seriously, finance should be a religion. It has all the, characteristics of a religion. You devote an inordinate amount of your time to something unseen that doesn't make a ton of sense, but it's okay because it's like, the idea that having $1 billion is like God. It's there, but not for everybody. And you want it. You don't know how you're going to get to it, but there's rituals that you can do to get you closer to that thing that you want. And this guy wanted the big B. He wanted $1 billion. He probably wanted more. They want to be billionaires, these people. And the way to do that is to sacrifice your physical and emotional well-being in order to get there. There's a lot of the comedies like that, too. You try to be a comedian for years, and you're broke, and you sacrifice relationships with your friends and your family, and you sacrifice, having a good work history and a credit score. You have nothing to say for yourself. In your early 30s, people go, where the fuck have you been? What did you do for a decade? And the answer is nothing. And then you either get successful, people go, oh, we get it, or you don't. And then people just go, yeah, that guy's a bum. If you fail as a comedian, you're just a bum. You're a guy that spent 10 years in bars. So I don't know what to do. Every now and then and I feel bad for this man and his family. I'm a human being, This Pop-Tart movie has to be talked about.